before we start our movie, I want to introduce you to Spirit. Yeah, he's a young horse, but he isn't afraid of anything, and that's obviously the exact opposite of the other horses his age. The whole herd loves him because of his intelligence, strength, and playful personality. The movie starts out with Spirit racing his friend, the eagle, and he actually manages to beat him. Because of Spirit's strength, he becomes the leader of the herd and protects them from any danger. That's why they all love and respect him. One day, Spirit sees a fire coming from the forest. He goes to check out what it is, but his mom stops him because she's worried about him. But he tells her he'll just watch from a distance and won't get too close. He actually goes and finds tied-up horses. One of them tells him to run away quickly, but Spirit refuses to leave and gets even closer to the fire. He gets really surprised when he finds humans sleeping because he's never seen them before. By mistake, he makes a sound and wakes them up. They try to corner him but fail, so they decide to go after him. They chase him down, but Spirit attacks them instead, breaks the horses free, and returns to the herd. He thinks they're safe now, but there are still humans chasing him. So Spirit signals the herd to run away quickly, and he heads right toward the humans to draw them away from the herd. He's right on the verge of escaping, but one of the humans manages to catch him with a rope, and they completely take control of Spirit. His mom sees everything happening and is just about to go save him, but Spirit yells at her, telling her to stay back. The humans then take Spirit away with them. He tries to fight back, but it's no use. From pure exhaustion, he gives up and goes along with them. The humans bring him to a U.S. Army outpost. Spirit gets really upset when he sees so many other horses under their control. Spirit keeps running around the place and attacking the soldiers until the commander arrives and asks what all the noise is about. One of the soldiers tells him that this crazy horse keeps attacking them, so the commander orders them to break Spirit. At that moment, Spirit really wants to take out the commander. The soldiers start cutting Spirit's long mane, but Spirit manages to kick the guy cutting his mane. The commander comes over and tells them to take him to the taming corral. They actually take him there, but not a single person can handle him. Since Spirit sees no one can match him, he mocks them. Spirit keeps this up until the commander orders the soldiers to tie him up for 3 days without food or water. They do exactly that, and Spirit gets incredibly exhausted because of the intense heat. Night falls, and Spirit really misses his mom. The next day, we see the commander taunting Spirit by drinking water right in front of him. All of a sudden, the soldiers capture someone who was close to the outpost. The commander tells them to tie him up next to the horse without food or water. They tie him up, and we find out his name is Kirk. Spirit notices that he doesn't look like them. Night comes, and Spirit has finally hit his limit. He sees Kirk making a strange sound, like he's calling someone from far away. Suddenly, a knife gets thrown from outside the outpost, and we learn that Kirk was calling one of his tribesmen. Kirk manages to grab the knife. The whole camp wakes up when they realize someone was lingering around the outpost. The commander asks the soldiers how long this horse has been tied up, and one of the soldiers tells him it's his 3rd night. He tells them, "All right, take him to the taming corral now." We see the commander trying to break Spirit. Because Spirit hasn't had any food or water for 3 days, he seems to give up. But right before exiting, Spirit throws the commander off his back and tosses him far away. Kirk sees everything happen. He's completely amazed by Spirit's strength, and all the other horses celebrate what he did to the commander. The commander gets furious about what happened. He pulls out his gun and is about to finish Spirit off. But Kirk has already untied himself. He tackles the commander, grabs Spirit, and escapes. However, the gate guard stops them and tries to block their escape. But Spirit knows how to handle him, and he escapes, bringing the rest of the camp's horses with him. Spirit is on his way back to his herd, but Kirk calls out to his friend. When they arrive, they tie Spirit up with ropes and take him back to their tribe. The next day, Spirit wakes up and finds a ton of apples in front of him. On the other side, he sees Kirk's mare, whose name is Rain. He invites her over to eat with him, but Kirk comes and calls her, so she chooses to go to Kirk and plays around with him. Spirit stays there wondering how she could prefer humans over a fellow horse like her. Kirk tries to get closer to Spirit, but Spirit stops him and is about to attack him, but Rain steps in and neighs at him. So Kirk decides to tie them together and let them loose. As soon as Spirit sees the forest, he runs toward it as fast as he can. He thinks he's finally free, but Rain stops him. He tells her what's wrong. The forest is right in front of us, and we're free. but she still doesn't agree. So he tries to push her along, but fails. She manages to convince him to let her show him her world. Since Spirit has already fallen in love with her, he agrees. She takes him around to introduce him to the village and its people. You notice that they start getting much closer to each other, and Spirit begins to adapt to life with them. He even allows Kirk to get close to him, so Kirk tells him that he's a strong, brave horse and was born to be free. Kirk actually sets him free. Spirit runs straight to Rain, tells her what happened, and asks her to come along with it. Contrary to what he expected, Rain gets really sad and lets him know that her home is right here. Before she can finish speaking, they hear gunfire coming from the village. They find the commander and his soldiers attacking the tribe, so Rain rushes over to Kirk as he charges at the commander. Spirit tries to warn them, but it's already too late. The commander shoots them and knocks them into the river. The commander is just about to finish Kirk off, but Spirit shows up, strikes the commander, and dives into the river to save Rain from drowning. But unfortunately, both of them fall over the waterfall. Spirit is completely unharmed, but Rain is severely injured. Spirit stays right by her side until the soldiers show up and take him away, while Kirk witnesses everything that goes down. Once the soldiers leave, Kirk goes over to Rain to check on her, but she's in really bad shape. Kirk promises himself that he will save Spirit, just like Spirit saved his life. We cut back to the soldiers, who put Spirit inside the train, along with the rest of the tribe's horses. Spirit is deeply heartbroken over what happened to Rain. The other horses try to comfort him, but it's absolutely no use. The second Spirit remembers his mom and the rest of the herd. Hope returns to him once again, and he decides to get justice for Rain and the other horses. After some time, the train arrives at its destination. The soldiers unload Spirit and the rest of the horses, and Spirit is incredibly confused about why they brought them here, until he hears the humans saying they need these horses to pull the locomotive up the mountain. We see Kirk on his way to rescue Spirit. The workers start hitching the horses to the train, and the horses begin pulling the train. After a little while, they reach the top of the mountain, and Spirit sees the workers clearing a path for the railroad. He realizes that this track is heading straight toward his herd's territory, so he refuses to let them keep going. He notices that when he stops, the train slips backward, so he decides to play dead so the workers will unchain him. Sure enough, the workers pull him out of the line, so Spirit seizes the opportunity and breaks free. He goes to smash the chains linking the locomotive to the other horses. The rolling train is inches away from crushing Spirit, but at the very last second, he manages to escape. The train explodes, and fire spreads everywhere across the forest. Spirit is just about to make a run for it, but the chain around his neck gets snagged on a tree, and the fire is about to consume him. Right at that moment, Kirk shows up and rescues him. Both of them jump clear of the flames before the fire catches them. When Spirit wakes up, he finds that Kirk saved him and even brought some apples to eat. He goes over to him and playfully pushes him into the water. They both keep playing together until the commander and the rest of the soldiers show up. The commander can't believe that Spirit is still alive. Spirit and Kirk keep running from the soldiers, and Kirk manages to take down a few of them until they reach a dead end. They have absolutely no idea where to go until Spirit decides to leap over to the other side of the canyon. Kirk tells him that he's crazy and the distance is way too far, but Spirit doesn't listen to him and takes the leap, completely nailing the jump. Kirk can't believe what just happened. On the other side of the canyon, the commander witnesses the entire thing. He sees exactly how brave and powerful of a horse Spirit is. One of the soldiers is just about to shoot at them, but the commander stops him, gives a military salute to Spirit, and leaves him be, walking away. Kirk and Spirit are thrilled that finally, nobody will hunt them anymore, and they head back to the tribe. As soon as Spirit sees the village, he remembers Rain and the beautiful moments they spent together. But suddenly, Kirk whistles, and Rain appears. Spirit is overjoyed because she's still alive. Kirk tells Rain that he'll never forget her, and he tells Spirit that he's sure he'll take good care of her because he's the strongest horse he's ever seen in his life. They hug each other, completely filled with emotion, say their goodbyes, and leave. The two of them keep running fast across the long distance until they finally reach the herd. He sees his mom, who is absolutely thrilled that Spirit has finally returned. And with that, our movie ends. Hope you liked the recap. If you reached the end, don't forget to leave a like on the video and write us a nice comment as you always do. And for those watching us for the first time, subscribe to the channel to see all the upcoming recaps. See you in the next movie. Peace.